public.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. Mhm.
go
Yeah,
go
so
ahead. I mean, I think
so I was
maybe you
saying,
could touch on
Emeka,
one. We'll go from there. Go
yeah,
ahead.
just the key one, right? Because to a large extent, literally everything becomes personal at some point, and largely personal. So when you look at USAID, I've had this conversation with a number of people during the week, and I got one person who was very excited about it, and which I understand, but I also found it myopic. It was very, very short-sighted, and to a large degree, insensitive. Okay, what do you mean you are firing 10,000 employees? How many livelihoods are those that you are affecting? Okay, let's forget the politics, let's forget the policy, let's go past the people,
Yes.
right? How many families are those? You would
I
think there are
mean,
10,000 families.
yeah, it's more than that because again, just like because we are here and everyone is listening, it's necessary to say this. We are moving on. We are not saying that Trump didn't get what he said he was going to get. Yeah. So this is in terms of moving on. What does moving on look like? 10,000 people. 10,000 people means that a community is more than affected because if I'm working, right, I know for a fact that I'm providing for about another 5 to 10 people
Yes.
because they will either get my money from the grocery store in my community or gas station or
Mm-hmm.
local ice cream place or local the people who pick up your trash, you pay for the lights, the water, everything you pay for is all because of the job you had, right? If somebody is living in a neighborhood where let's just say they pay $500,000, which I know most of these people are in a place where they pay more than that, but 500,000, I can guarantee you that those guys are giving out at least their income 50 to $75,000 to the community every year.
Correct. And
You've
look at
lost
it
that.
this way.
Yeah.
Beyond the services you are receiving, Emeka, it's hard to come by somebody who earns $75,000 or more, especially an African,
Yeah.
who is
Oh,
not
yeah.
doing things that are purely charity. There are
Yes.
children going to school under these people's scholarships. There's just so much. So I think looking at budget lines without going into what it means, every single budget line that you cross on the federal budget, first, it's not your money. Let us just be honest. It's those people's money. This taxpayers' money. It's not your money. Why are you feeling too much pain about it to where you want to hurt the very taxpayers and devastate an economy just because of, hey, let's face it, it's your ego. But again, some things can be personal, right? And it's always good to say them so that somebody can also think about them because this is an opinion, it's not a fact. But
Yeah.
remember, Elon Musk comes from a background of racism. Why did his family move from South Africa when South Africa was abolishing apartheid? These are things that people must face. It's not a bad man. He has impacted the economy, has done good
Yeah.
things,
He's done a lot.
but
Yeah.
he comes
But
with that
still,
stain. He comes with that stain of rabid hate for people of color, right? So
yes.
if he feels there's anything that is going to help Africans and he couldn't just take even black leadership and made his family leave. And to his credit, he was still young at that time. But whatever my parents felt like they could not take, maybe I cannot take. So I don't know how people want to look at this guy, but you cannot look at him as, oh, it's just operational efficiency. No, no, no. There's an underlying fact there against Africa with him. It's just a
Yes.
fact.
Correct. I mean,
Okay.
you've heard the African president come out to pretty much what's the word? Denounce the guy's habit and attitude and what he's trying to do. But not just that. Going back to the topic you said
Yeah.
about
hmm
the
Now,
10,000 who will be affected.
these are 10,000 people.
Yeah.
You could be following your own personal vendetta and stuff like that. But are you thinking of the ripple effect?
They may file for bankruptcy because they don't
Yeah,
have money coming
look
in.
at that.
Okay. The guy
Another
you
thing.
see in church, the guy you see in the soccer field with your kids, the guy and lady, if they don't have this fund, this is catastrophic.
And now let's move away from individual personal interest. Let us look at the national security interest.
Thank you.
USA ID is America's soft power,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
But
They
below
feed
that
the world.
soft,
Yeah.
yes, below that soft power, there is also something that we can neither prove or disprove. Most of these US agencies,
Yeah.
including diplomatic missions, provide a very, very good cover for intelligence gathering, right?
Very
If
good.
if you don't have intelligence, how will you invest more in the country in terms of security, in terms of even advancement, right? You don't even know your market when you're out there. And you see, right now, I'm talking out of selfish interest as somebody who would benefit in
Yes.
America's
Yes.
progress, right?
Yeah.
So anything that hurts America's intelligence gathering or soft power also hurts me, whether I like it or not.
Whether you like
So
it or not. Yeah. I
this is
mean,
very counterproductive. Yeah.
another thing I look at is, have you ever seen, I mean, we're Africans, so we should know this very well. You know, when they say, hey, look, the guy in the neighborhood is asking for food or asking for us to buy him a drink. People say, hey, go and buy him this drink, give him that money because you never know. If they're trying to rob somebody or do somebody wrong, when they remember what you've done for them, they will not touch you.
That's right. That's
Do you
right.
understand what I mean?
Hmm.
Those people who are out there, less fortunate people, you know that they are this much far away from going to rob somebody's house or rob you or anybody. But they don't do it because you keep them, their wheels rolling. You give them something to compensate them. That's what USAID is. And with that, they get information, not easily, but for the most part, because when you see that presence there, you feel happy. So, give you a good example in Africa where you see all these little um, American or European countries come and build a church in your community or, sponsor a child. Why do you think they're doing it just because they like you? No, 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 man. They
No,
like you
no, no.
based on what?
It is
Oh,
what that
it's a
influence
deal.
gives
Yeah.
them. Yeah.
You know,
Because if they're not getting any influence out of it,
they will not be
why are
there.
they doing it?
Yeah, they
You
will
see?
not be there.
Yeah. So,
I mean,
man,
so I feel like, if this continues, if this, I don't know if it's going to go through, because there's a judge who said he's keeping some people and some are not keeping. You see, like you said, that the news going on today is really too much going on. It's like a fire hose, right?
oh yeah, oh
They
yeah.
are keeping some and they're not keeping some, or they just put.
Now the question becomes, what is the basis? What is the criteria?
That's number one, because the Supreme
Mm.
Court, if they step in, they'll just, they've been almost kissing this guy's rear for anything that he wants. I said almost.
So, okay, Mecca, I've
Yeah,
just sent you a message there. Take a look, and then,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah,
take
yeah,
note.
yeah.
I've messaged you on WhatsApp.
Hey,
Yeah,
Andrew,
as you run that. Yeah.
Andrew joined. I'm curious on what he wants to say.
Hi guys.
Oh, hey, Andrew.
How
I got you,
how you
Sylvester.
doing?
I'm good, 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 bro. We haven't spoken in a long time. Let's talk. Let people let our people know what's going on in Africa and how you guys feel. So maybe can you speak on camera so that people will see your reaction also?
Um, that's
We
all
could
right.
wait.
Unfortunately,
Oh yeah, you're fine.
unfortunately,
Yeah.
unfortunately, I'm in a noisy place.
Oh,
So,
you
so,
sound
so
good
my
right now. You
pardon?
you sound good. You sound good. It's good.
Oh,
I want,
all
I want
right,
to
all
get your
right.
first take on what do you think about what's happening? What are you guys seeing over there? Obviously we have a unique guy in power.
Um,
Well, how do you guys feel about what's happening?
well, I can't really speak on behalf of others. There's quite a lot of mixed reaction coming through.
Yeah.
But from where I'm standing, um, I guess the experiences I've gone through have really prepared my mind to never rely on anything other than myself. And so I come from a school of thought that is driven with the fact that I was born alone, and the day I exit this
I
world,
know.
I'll exit alone. So to me, common sense has made me think of these 2 points. And in between, I've said the only sensible thing for me to do is to do everything that depends on me.
I mean,
And
but
so,
can I
yeah,
step in? Just saying that alone is difficult to digest because we weren't born or brought into this world to do things by ourselves. There's a need for continuous communication. But when you have somebody who is what people believe is a divider in chief, the division becomes so strong, it makes you feel like you are better off staying by yourself because what's going to happen or what's happening is United States is now isolating itself from the world, even down to its own allies. Okay, allies, let alone China or Africa or I'm sorry, China or Russia. These guys are trying to move away, but please continue your frame of thought. Die. So continue. You said die by yourself, and well, continue. Don't worry.
well, that's not exactly what I meant, that I'm
Okay.
excluding myself from others.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
got it wrong.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, what I've learned over the years is that if you tend to listen to your inner voice, it naturally guides you to how nature is supposed to be,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
How
Yes.
kids get along, yet they don't know each other. How come just walking in a field of nature, there's a difference by being in the city?
Mm.
So that connection of the universe, I believe, whether you want to call it divine spirit or whatever it is, I believe it's an energy that flows in all of us. And if we all naturally follow that inner voice, then harmony it balances itself just like the universe is. So the issue why I came to that conclusion, because I grew up believing in humanity. It's taken me years to realize how selfish people have actually created systems and curriculums that have corrupted so many minds that people have totally forgotten themselves, to a point where they think they're thinking their thoughts, but they're not their thoughts. And that is why I feel like the world so far has been deviating away from nature completely when it comes to humanity. And so out of this, that's why I started even Dreamers Club. It's one of the ways I want to tap into the young minds to return back the humanity aspect of that. Because if I look in Africa, I'm not seeing anyone doing anything. We're still following the systems that are so broken, but people are not aware of them.
Yeah. That is
Yet
that is fact. Yes.
we get it.
Yeah, I
So
do.
even as growing up, I started questioning. I mean, that thing I was telling you about the wheelchair, why are we always relying on Western people to do everything for us? So for where I'm seated right now, I'm asking myself, what if every Kenyan had the same mindset as myself? Would we be relying on anything from outside?
No, don't let it
The other
happen.
day, the other day I spoke here and I said, I realized what the NGOs were created for. That's why I don't call what I'm doing charity, because I know that word has really been misused in the world. That's why I came up with the tagline of the Humanitarian Responsibility Initiative. I want to remind kids that nature, the way it created us, we're supposed to take care of each other naturally. So I'm able to see from both sides. I can see why Trump and Elon are doing what they're doing. They have their own valid reasons why, if I look at it from where I am. Back at home, I can also see where people are coming from, especially now from the talk how you started with Sylvester. So I'm still trying to grapple on how do these two balance out? Because for me, I feel Africa has been caught so off guard because of the tendency of not thinking about themselves. I'll give you an example that happened when we were blown on by the Shabaab when they attacked the American embassy. I think it was in the late 90s.
Yes, yes.
We never had blood banks in Kenya. So the people who have been rushed to the hospital, there was no blood. So in the partnership of the US and the Kenyan government, they created a department around the blood transition or something like that, that was based in one of the biggest public hospital called Kenyatta National Hospital.
Mm-hmm.
So the US aid said, we'll fund you. I think it was, I don't know, 5 years. Then from there, you need to have set up something for yourself to proceed on from there. 5 years down the line, not even a single move has been done from our end. So the US aid had again to sponsor the next 5 years. And this time they warned us, if you've not done that, we're good. The 5 years ended, nothing has been done. That cycle went on for 4 years to a point where now the government of Kenya believed they're still going to roll it over. So when that time came, they pulled out completely the funding and the whole thing collapsed.
Oh my God.
So for me, I mean, that is something we should have learned from that point and ask ourselves, what if, in fact, last year I was talking to the CEO of a credit union whose members are 92% of them actually in the NGO.
Mm-hmm.
And not just these small NGOs, but this big one, USAID, UK aid, and all that.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. And so I was talking to him when we finished whatever we we're talking about. I told him, I'd like to conduct a risk management talk or consultancy with you guys because I've studied you and I've realized the way you're approaching risk management is from an audit point of view, which is reactive. So you need to change and start being proactive to see what can go wrong. And he downplayed the concentration of your members are on one sector. What if that sector, something happens to it? What will happen to this institution? And he completely downplayed it. That was 2 months ago. Now, the exact thing I had in mind has just happened.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't even know what to say, man, because who do you blame? Look at your ex-president that came and was talking to the crowd, right? Uhuru. So why are you guys screaming? Why are you guys complaining? They say they're not funding you guys anymore. That means it's time to find a way to survive. It's time for you guys to find a way to do things independently of the outside world. Because America doesn't owe you anything. They don't. They don't. We all know they don't. They just do this because they are flourishing a lot and they feel like it gives the perception that they're doing so good and they're not giving you guys any crumbs. Right? And now the new governor or president who has come say, look, I don't want to do it. I want us to save money. Let's put the money in other things because Trump believes that he knows that there's a lot of unnecessary spending that could be used in the United States to build a military, build a middle class, and hopefully bring some people, anyone who's still left in poverty, out of poverty. Poverty is different from homelessness. People who are homeless are in a situation because probably they don't want to relocate to a cheaper place, or just that's a bigger subject anyway. But do you agree with your ex-president on his statement? In general terms, I'm not talking about political party or how you don't like him or appreciate him. I believe he was a great guy, but that's my own personal belief. But the question is,
my internet is having some issue. I don't know if you can hear me.
I can hear you. I can hear you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Yes. But
so my
is
question,
yes, I do.
my question is,
I believe sometimes you just need that slap for you to wake up from a sleepless slumber. Because I've just given you a very simple example.
yeah.
It's like we never learned anything from that. And if we never learned from that, when
Well, again, you have to also put in perspective. Nobody saw it coming, man.
yeah,
You see, when people get something for free and you keep giving it to them, just like, for example, this podcast we're having, some people will
yeah,
probably choose not to show up because they feel entitled. Like, they can come in anytime they want. They could come in late and everything is okay. All right? Until that's
yeah,
taken away from them, then they will know how important things like this mean to them.
uh-huh.
Okay?
Correct,
So
correct.
uh, the money being given to Kenyans, right?
Yeah,
You guys, it was 800 and something million dollars. Okay. Now, you guys, and I'm not saying you, but the Kenyan government was so
yeah,
reliant on it. They probably had spent the money before it even touched the bank because they knew it was guaranteed to come. So
exactly.
you don't need to work hard to create structures. You have China doing a lot of the work for you guys. So why overstress to become innovative or new things that outside countries don't have any influence on? But no, you guys don't want to do that because America is giving you guys something.
You.
The Europeans are giving you guys something. Chinese is building everything for you guys. So why work hard, right?
Mhm.
So right now, what is being said in Kenya? What is the
Well,
way forward?
what's happening around is that most people are actually with Trump, and the main reason for that is because
Wow.
most of this money does not get to the ground, does it? It doesn't.
You can imagine Nigerians and what we see in Nigeria. Okay, continue. Most of the money doesn't get there. Yeah, it gets to the bigger pockets or the quote unquote. We are using it to pay arrears of people, or we are using it to go and locate oil in Kenya, or we are using it to pay for our forefathers' bills that they didn't pay a long time ago, or we are using it to build a new railway line or pay down the depth of the railway line, or we're using it to blah 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 blah. So anyway, are you telling me? Do you have that for a fact, Andrew, that most Kenyans are for Trump right now? In
Pardon?
are you saying that most Kenyans are for Trump from what you see right now?
Oh, yes. Oh, you need to look at also where we have come from last year. It became so obvious to us that Ruto and his people were gaining a lot from the
Oh yeah.
US.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
When was the last time an African head of state was given such a state with
Yes.
billions,
That was
right?
a shocker. That was a shocker. Yeah.
So, given what has been happening here, people are totally anything against this person. So, when that's even the move we want Trump to win came through. And now that he's come through, it's really, really bad. Yesterday, our president went in the northern part of the country and he was heckled. And he really, really got angry. Yeah. And today, young people have been abducted left, right, and center. A place called Isiolo.
Iselo.
Yeah.
Baby brother, are you hearing this?
They've really been adapted today. It's going on social media right now on X. That's the
Yeah, I
trending
can
part of
hear.
it.
Some people have been abducted in, did you say Isiolo?
Isiolo, yes. That's where it
Yeah,
was heckled.
that's the western part, right? Western part of Kenya.
Yeah. Northern
Eastern,
part.
northeastern, yeah.
It's the
Eastern.
eastern. Oh, okay.
Northeastern, yeah.
Northeastern. Okay. So
Yes,
combination.
yes.
Okay. So,
And even chiefs.
I mean, So what's going on? Can you enlighten us? I mean, so what is the aim? Is he trying to? Are we blaming that the government is abducting young men to shut them up?
Oh, yes. Very well said. That's it.
I think this is the new tactics that the presidency has been using on people, because I've heard this so many times. I mean, they're not going to keep quiet, man. I mean, I don't know what to do. They're not going to. I mean, to solve a problem like this, you need to get young activists together and see if you could, not buy them, but give them something to at least use it as a tool to say, okay, look, we had 10 ideas for the president. He said he could guarantee us 2. That's something versus
Now,
not
the
getting.
problem in Kenya, the Kenyan, and that's what I think the president hates to admit. They have a lot of educated Gen Zs that don't have anything to do. They have a lot of Gen Zs that are ready to be in the workforce, but they don't have any jobs to go. Corruption is left, right, and center. So the only way they're going to solve it is actually do their job and create jobs for them.
Correct.
Okay, so Andrew, we are talking to you because you're our special guy in Africa. But what jobs are there? AI
There
has
are no jobs.
pretty much.
I mean, look at it this way.
I mean,
Emeka, this is a government that came to power with no plan. There's absolutely nothing that has happened that you can say, okay, we can see this is a plan that said they're actually working on that. It's just lies left, right, and center. Coming up with projects that cost billions and nothing to show, systems which are not working. So the only agenda these people had from the get-go is how they're going to, it's like it was a purpose driven to collapse this country. They're turning around public, public institution government to private. Guess who's buying them behind the doors? Using whose money? Right? There's absolutely no plan. So the only thing they're talking about here is exporting cheap labor to Middle East. And that's why Rhoda is talking. You have people who are very educated and they have nothing to do. They just they spend their time on social media. So they're bringing all this anger out. The Kenyans are doing research like, he says anything, it's always countered and proof is brought in there.
Yeah. I mean, but
the day before yesterday, he insulted Kenyans by saying he has a PhD. So there's nothing can be told.
But I mean, that's not how you solve a country's problem or a national problem. Sylvester, what kind of jobs could be done in Kenya that we don't know of? Because I know a lot of things have been so adulterated that it's not desirable anymore. What's the desirable job? I love the farm industry, but farmers are not even rich people. They barely manage, and there's so many people doing the farming work that is nothing. Even public transportation, right? There are a lot of people doing public transportation. They're not getting rich out of it. A lot of people in the private sector, those ones are always at the mercy of government rules, right? The ones I'm talking to you about are not really affected by the government. People are going to eat regardless of which government is there, right? People are going to drive around and go around. But what is the job there really to do? Because I know Kenya does a lot of manufacturing, because I know you guys put, for example, Nigeria to shame. You guys produce as many things as you guys need there that you try to put China on hold, right? Ketchup, toothpick, wheelbarrow, so many things that in Nigeria we will always try to just get it imported because we are an oil country, get it imported. So what is it? What's there to be built? Who else is from Kenya here that could say something? Does anybody else in Kenya have an opinion? Happy, are you Kenyan?
I'm having a lot of burning in the Dyson area. Please
Oh,
have
sorry.
someone come in and help you.
Okay. Well, I mean, I don't know. This new administration is really going to make it.
Emeka, let me just bring you to speed with something that has become so clear. All those manufacturing that you admire, that you're talking about, they've all been killed.
What do you mean?
Okay.
What?
Yes. You've heard him push this notion of affordable housing.
Yes. Yes.
Well, anything you see him say, no behind everything else, it's him. He's gone ahead and collapsed the cement industry to have a monopoly so that he's able to supply cement to these houses that people don't need. There's a port between Somali and Kenya. Okay? That is where all counterfeit things enter through this market with the help of him. That's why he's so sticking to these Somali people. So you go to supermarket and you find, let's say, a sugar called Mumias, but that company collapsed. How come then we have this sugar called Mumias in supermarket? Who is bringing them? Where is it coming from?
Okay, plus one thing I want to point out, and this is mainly to answer Mecca's question. So if you think about the US, right? Every time the US announces, oh, they're going to invest or they're going to pump more money into the energy industry, into the energy sector or renewable energy, what that does is that it helps the Americans go create businesses and create employment. Now, if Kenya was to pump money into, they have a lot of people in IT in Kenya. If they were to pump money into like an IT infrastructure or something, or if they were to pump money into manufacturing, the government doesn't have to create these manufacturing companies, but they have to give these grants and these business tenders to people who are actually in Kenya who can create employment. But instead, they give the tenders to their own friends or they give the tenders to foreigners.
I mean, I knew that there was a problem in Kenya when even the vice president couldn't even sit for his tenure. And he got kicked out. Like, who are these guys? Who are we bringing into power? Okay, so now we have a new situation where, like you're saying, a lot of manufacturing companies are not really the ones providing what you see on the shelves in the supermarket, right? So
Yeah.
what's you guys cannot sustain that.
Even before any cash crop grown in Kenya, before it was illegal to import it. Now you can import it, including sugar. We have mumias. So exactly what Andrew is saying, I do agree. We shouldn't be importing. It's like telling Kenya to import coffee from Colombia.
Oh hell no! Really?
Exactly.
They
Yeah,
can't try that.
we shouldn't be bringing in sugar.
Kenya has a huge source of sugar. I know that. I know that for a fact. So are you telling me they're bringing it in now? I don't know, man. Look, I would just say to those in Africa, like, unfortunately, what you said, Andrew, kind of makes a lot of sense. Do things for yourself, because if you depend on this government, they'll really screw you bad. Because now I don't know what the French or the Europeans are going to do to influence your country, because they see the chaos. They will take advantage of it, because people are still making money in Kenya, in Africa in general, but it's not us. We are not the beneficiaries of it. Then the West, I don't know what Trump is going to say or how he's going to lead. That's also going to take effect. So at the end of the day, if you're not organized in your own way of being able to sustain, you'll be in trouble. So I really hope something comes up, because you know what's going to happen? The people who like to go to Kenya to visit, tourists, they're going to be in the mercy of local Kenyans, because those ones could turn to become criminals, to rob you, to take what you got. You're there for vacation, you came in with euros or dollars or whatever you came in with. And that's what it's going to lead to, because these people really need money. You have to survive. Anyway, Sylvester, do you have something to say to this? I see Queen Esther. I see Happy. I see Olukwanimi, Oluwa Kemi. If you guys want to say something, That would be nice to contribute to this. Let your voices be heard. So I'll let Happy say something first. Happy, what are you thinking? And you don't have to show your face. You're mute.
I'm sorry, please. I can't really talk. I'm at work right now, please.
You said you can't really talk?
I can't, yeah, I can't talk. I'm at work.
Okay. Olua Kemi. You want to say something? I think you're mute. You have to unmute yourself.
Yes, good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Yeah, I really want to say one or two things, but I'm also at work and I'm very, very careful because the last time I joined the conversation, people were just listening and they had to go and report and I don't want to create an issue from that.
Right. Okay, no, I
Yeah,
mean, that's fine. What I would say is if you're at work, just type in the chat box, what you're thinking. Maybe if you have a question on what has been on the news lately, and let's see how we could address that. Because there's a lot of things we have to talk about. Again, we are choreographing how we bring out information just to be sure that we are not stepping on the wrong toes and nobody comes to pick us up, because trust me, they'll look for any reason to shut us down. So we are trying to do things in a unique way while giving you information and giving you power to know that you have a voice, but you can say something. Sylvester, you look relaxed there. I wish I was you right now. You're mute. You're mute. We cannot hear you. Like it says you're on, but we still cannot hear you. Like,
let me try another
I
one.
can hear you. We can hear you. Yeah.
Oh, thank you. That was messed up. I think something is wrong with the network. Changes have both sides of the same blade.
Yeah.
So when there's a policy change from a partner, like in this way, the way USAID or USAID, whatever you think does, there's a way it will affect different economies in Africa.
Yes.
But with their scaling down of operations or total withdrawal, depending on what works out in the long run, or even if they don't withdraw at all, they have created a general concern of awareness that
Yes.
that gap is created, right? So whether the gap is created or not created, that is also an opportunity. So we cannot look at it in terms of, hey, there's a big hit, there's a big gap. No, what do we do with that gap? Because remember, more than 80% of aid that leaves a country goes back to that country, either through their employees or the products that they supply you. So can Africa produce these drugs? Can Africa produce these products that US has been sending to support Africa? And can they now start creating opportunities for people to work and fill those gaps? Like, can we now start addressing the dependency syndrome, right? Every policy change in any strategic partner, right, must in a way help the affected parties create new ways of thinking. So that's what I would think at this moment. Oh, I can't hear you, Emeka. I'm wondering why that is.
I saw that. Look, what you said is true. Now, okay, so I'm seeing some comments, but I'm coming. It's the fact that there is uncertainty is a big problem, because it's not, again, this is not an American problem now. It's worldwide. All right. Well, here's the thing. Do you know what country is not even tripping or giving a hoot on what's happening in the United States? Do you know what country, Sylvester? You're mute. Go ahead. Uh-oh. We can't hear you. We cannot hear you. I don't know what else.
Sorry.
Yeah.
In terms of the big superpowers, China is definitely one of them.
That's right. China is not even bothered because they have made a great alliance with every part of the world that if America doesn't want to lead, they're coming right in. And by invitation from that country.
Exactly.
So America cannot say, hey, we are flexing our... No, you are not invited. You are not invited because you have a tendency of coming, blowing hot smoke and leaving us after a while. They're not going to play that game anymore because China has been consistent. They don't start and stop. They start to finish.
In fact, if you are a Chinese strategist in any government, you are praying that America moves forward with its craziness and just do all those things. Why? Because that's a competition cutting itself out in all these construction contracts and all the good stuff. So I think if you are sitting in a strategy session in the Chinese, you even want to fund this information around the same thing. So and it's bad for us, you know. So China is not bothered. Actually, China is happy. I bet they're popping champagne, just saying, man, let them come.
Unfortunately, here's the gripe or the beef I have with China. It's a beef because we have been conditioned to be spoiled by expecting America to create jobs for us and do things for us. China doesn't do that. China is there to do things for their best interest. If you want to do things for your best interest, go and start manufacturing. Let your country people learn how to manufacture. Manufacture the same things. You saw how China did it. They copied everybody else's own and started creating it, then increase the quality, reduce the cost, and everybody bought into it. So why is it that we are here complaining when our shoes, the table, this computer, everything we have is made by them? Right? So if we are going to move forward, there has to be a rude awakening. Okay, so and it's really annoying, but let me read the first question that was asked. Somebody said, Oluwa said, what I want to say is, if we Africans can look inwards and create businesses that can make us independent rather than focusing on what Trump's administration will do. Well, yeah, we're doing a lot of that. Part of the things we are doing is talking to you right now to bring ideas to you. Doing seminars, workshop, discussions so that you could be self-sufficient. Asking you to create your own side hustle, right? Side hustle usually is something you could do by yourself without having to go to a 9-to-5 job, because it's not 9 to 5, it's whenever you can do it. A lot of these things are really simple stuff. Cooking and presenting your food to individuals, places where you don't have to pay taxes. Sometimes, you join the taxi group where you could, have a deal with somebody and say, hey, look, I'll take you from here to the airport, pay me $50, $100. And that's trade by barter, right? If you remember what trade by barter is, you give me this, I give you this. You give them your vehicle. You don't give it, you drive them with your vehicle. They pay you with cash, right? You don't have to pay any taxes based on that, right? But what you have to do is make sure you understand that it's going to be a consistent thing. It's going to be a consistent thing, right? There are different ways, you could have chickens in your house or rear them and sell the eggs. That's way of income. Or keep the eggs and enjoy yourself with the eggs. You don't have to be arguing with people in the grocery store for egg prices. I don't do that because I have chickens in my house, because I know these are things that naturally will come. How do my chickens eat? Table scraps, right? They eat table scraps. Sometimes we'll buy them chicken food because, we want them to do organic. It doesn't matter. The chickens are going to be healthy. You know what they eat. Okay. For us, we're doing farming. So we have goats, we have cows, and we're still going to have some more things. But those ones, it doesn't matter who's in power. We are trying to make sure that we can self-sustain, right? You get into networking with people. Learn to network with people, because when you do that, then there are jobs that are happening that we are doing right now that I'm not part of doing the manual labor, but I'm in partnership with somebody else, because I have decided that when we become greedy, we lose it all, right? If you know you can jump into something that will give you 20% of the profit, let 80% go to the other guy who's doing the whole work. Let it go. You get that 20%, right? You're not there, you're not doing anything. All you are just saying is, okay, yes, I agree. Okay, let me invest $10, then let me get $12 back. Okay? It's a way of movement. And you do that in different deals, and you keep moving. So if you want to get an idea of what to do, talk to one of your friends. Networking doesn't mean talk to people, look nice, have the best perfume, that don't accomplish anything. No. Networking actually means, just be yourself, be regular. Ask how you can invest in whatever they are doing, because they have an idea. You probably don't. Or maybe you have the idea. I said, look, I have this idea. I just don't have enough money to finish it. But if you give me $10, I guarantee you get $1 out of it. Right? And this is money between me and you. I don't have to pay taxes on it. I don't have to make sure that the government knows everything I'm doing, because that's when they will use it to audit me later. Nobody wants to be audited, right? Stay away from stuff that will get you into that, right? So these are creative ideas that you come in here to have those ideas, because you cannot think it all. You cannot know it all. You will never know it all, okay? You have to work as a team. You have to keep working as a team. That's how you're going to get better. So, okay, then the next question.
Oh, Emeka, before you go to the next one.
Yes, go ahead.
So now you take that thinking at the micro level lower, and then you move to now the macro level. You can imagine the collective thinking of entrepreneurship and creating businesses. If a lot of Africans start thinking that way, then you go to the macro level where that collective thinking now goes into government policy, the way the Chinese have done it, the way the Indians have done it. And now you are working in a way that you create at the economy level, not just here, but especially in Africa, where you can be self-reliant. You can produce your own vehicles, like the gentleman who is doing electric cars in Zimbabwe, and you can run at zero cost for fuel. You look at essentials, things that are very essential to livelihoods, like child feeds, all that food for baby foods and stuff like that. You look at energy, you look at essential items that supply the education and the health department, and you ensure you can produce them locally. When you do that in a sustained manner, you will never need to look west or east to get help. So that thinking has to start from the individual, and then it moves to the macro level.
Yeah, very true. Yeah, I must say this. You have to learn to do things in a little way before you jump into that level, because you could really crash. Because when you are on that level, the big level, then you are getting more people involved. So start from small and grow. Please do not be greedy. Run away from that. All right. So the second question was wondering what your thoughts are with regards to the H-1B visa going forward. Sylvester, over to you. I think you do a good job in that one first, then I'll talk about it.
Oh, at the end of the day, H-1B visas are, I would say they are untouchable. They can be reduced or lowered. And for every 1,000 engineers, China graduates a year. America graduates only one, right?
Yes,
and this economy is serious. This economy needs skilled workers.
They actually say 10,000, just by the way, 10,000 to 1. Yeah,
exactly. So when you look at it, to stay competitive, they are still going to open doors for skilled labor to come. And we have to learn to not panic. You have to discern the difference between rhetoric that pleases what I call red meat to the voters and the general public,
Yep.
and what the ultimate government policy will be or is, because the government wants to succeed. Every country wants to get ahead.
Yes.
You will not say, okay, just because this person is Nigerian or Indian, they cannot come here. We are preserving these jobs for people already in America. What if the engineers and the technical people who can fill those jobs are not enough? And they are not enough.
They're not enough. They're not. Yeah.
It's a fact that we have to live with. Now, when we look at it that way, then you realize that's what bulletproof H-1B visa. H-1B visa is not America extending its hand to do charitable opportunity for people outside America. No. These are competitive jobs. In fact, even Elon Musk himself, his Tesla needs like, is it Amazon? Needs like 5,000 a year. Is it? Okay. If you don't give them a chance to bring these people, are you going to mint a baby who is born today into an engineer tomorrow? It won't happen. Plus, in America, we are not even getting enough babies. This country has been, to use a crude term so you never forget, has been undersupplying babies for like the last 40 years. After the baby boom of the post-World War, it just crashed. So at the end of the day, to keep the economy humming, you need those technical people coming from out. So that's what bulletproofs the H-1B program. Nobody's gonna stop it. You stop it, you crash the economy. So do you wanna crash the economy just to fulfill your ego, or you want an economy that grows, that brings in the technical skilled people you need? There, the choice is easy. Yeah.
I am watching a few things that I see happening. This H-1B it's going to be chaotic because we're on a mission to do something, and there's also a mission for other groups of people to do something. And we are not winning this race. I just see us as this H-1B. It feels like it's designed for a specific group of people, and anybody else who has clear intentions, great, intentions of using it. It's not as fast as we would like it to be. I don't want to talk too much on that right now because there are a few things still we're trying to harvest. So let's move past that. Apart from that, yeah, we've been here for a little bit over an hour, so we can't stay here forever because we have things to do. It's a Saturday. Does anybody have any questions or something they would like us to jump into? And I really hope, Andrew, we answered the question. There is a lot into that question. It gets complicated day by day because the uncertainty going on now is really affecting a lot of people on deciding if they want to come to the US or do they want to go to Europe or Canada, So it is it's got more complicated than we could answer the question to the best of our knowledge. We'll answer it to the best of what is enough right now. Apart from that, yeah. Who else has a question? Does anybody else have a question? All right, Sylvester, so you want to take us out? Oh, okay. Hey, Emeka, does the new administration impact the progress you have made and the trajectory of your expectations regarding the invitation into the political space? A little bit, because whoever is agreeing to bring the people in has to say they are still interested in doing that for your people, for your country. So it has affected it to a certain level. As we're speaking now, Sylvester, you know this. Can you hear me, Sylvester?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You know that they are trying to abolish the education system in the United States, right?
Yes, so that it's a state affair.
Yeah. So there are a lot of things that are being affected, to answer your question, Andrew. And that uncertainty is just going to create problems for the federal government trying to bring in people. So it has just been annoying. But for the time being, our collaboration and our what we have on the pipeline is still fine. What we're doing is still fine. We actually have a reel that we'll probably put out today or tomorrow, because we're going to have a big meeting on Saturday, the 23rd, I believe, of this month. And my partner who is doing it with us is going to no, I think the 22nd. He's going to talk to us about it, and we'll do a Q&A. So that's in about 2 weeks from now. So yeah. All right. I think we're good, Sylvester. So
yeah, and yeah, those are some of the things that people should listen attentively and discern things for themselves. I was having a conversation with somebody yesterday, and it got really sad for me, because this guy was applauding the it's decentralization. They say abolish whatever is language, because they want to hand it over to the state. And the guy was like, yeah, that's expected of Republicans, because they've always wanted smaller government. Okay, if you are taking responsibility from the federal government to the state government, are you giving me that responsibility as an individual? No,
yeah,
it's still big government. It's just delegated.
yeah.
Get out of this, the inability to understand games that politicians say with words is amazing, is annoying. People just don't want to face things when they are being lied to. And,
Right.
and that's where we go wrong. But anyway, thank everybody for coming and contributing. Let us keep learning. And I think we have a great opportunity. Every time there is a change, there is a challenge. Everywhere there's a challenge, there is an opportunity. So what you need to scratch your head and think about, okay, with all these changes coming, how can I profit in America? And how can I profit in whatever country I came from? Any country that is being affected by the programs that America is terminating or introducing, how can I fit in that gap? How can I fit in that void that is created by that action? That should be your key thought. That should be your key goal this year. How do you step in the gap?
Yes.
That's how you make progress. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone, for joining, and we'll talk to you guys soon. All right. Have a good rest of your weekend. Bye.